The recording has started. That shit tickle me every
We are
time.
live.
Goofy.
Man.
Alright. So this is Cammy and Nafisa with Fuck Your Thoughts, a podcast based on telephone conversations between two friends. And just how we go through life and communicate with each other on our individual journeys. So of course we always start our podcast with a word, and um I pull a card from my deck. So, Fizz, you go ahead with your word while I'm shuffling.
All right. So the word of the day is ebullient. Ebullient. And that is an adjective that means to be cheerful and full of energy. So it's somebody who is basically just always cheerful.
Yes. And cheerful doesn't necessarily mean happy.
Exactly. They just are always
At
probably
an
just,
upbeat moment or upbeat
yes.
mental status, I guess.
Yeah. Or they just have an upbeat demeanor about them.
That's the word
So
I'm looking
anybody can be cheerful
for. Yeah.
at
It
any
can be
given
sad as hell and still be cheerful.
man. That part.
So I pulled the word friendship. And the
Okay.
energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affections and appreciation. And I think this card relates to our topic tonight because when you raw dog in life, you really need to have genuine friends and people that share like some of the same things that you appreciate, like that genuinely
Mhm.
can appreciate you for who you are and being your
Right.
authentic self. Right? How can you say you
Absolutely.
raw dog in life if you got to be fake with your friends?
Right.
So I think that that card fits.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fitting. So when we say raw dog in life, we mean just taking life by the horns and sitting in it. Whatever happens to you, whether bad or good, you are sitting in it and dealing with it
Instead of
head on.
avoiding it.
Yes, because when you don't raw dog it, you have to put a protective barrier over it or some type of prophylactic to take it to make it easier.
Buffer.
What?
A buffer.
Yes, a buffer.
Yeah. And y'all know what
So
raw dogging mean? You taking it raw. Shit.
exactly. And when you raw dog in life, that just means you ain't drinking, you ain't smoking weed all the time, you're not doing drugs, cause what we find is so many people are on drugs because they don't really want to have to deal with the
Reality.
realness of life.
Hmm.
hmm So it's a lot of escapism
But I think
around.
also, even if you're not, if even if your buffer is not drinking and or drugging to kind of uh
hmm
to make things a little bit more tolerable. I think just not
hmm
living in reality or just being delusional about what's
Yeah.
really happening or sweeping shit under the
hmm
rug. Oh, that didn't happen. We're just gonna act like it didn't happen and keep going. Um,
Or practicing cognitive dissonance
yeah. And I think the
is a
worst,
form of
one
that.
of the biggest things in life, one of that people use is in the means to not really be live in reality is the word professionalism.
Oh, okay. Elaborate.
What I mean
Expound.
by that is like people say, oh, you have to be professional. You have to be when you're in certain settings, they want you to be professional. Like, and I get it. It makes things a lot easier or whatever to be tolerated. But when in reality, it's hard to be professional if your communication skills are not up to par. Like if you're not capable of stating how you genuinely feel in a means without being argumentative or um like you don't know how to say, okay, well this makes me feel this way when you do such
hmm
and such in your place of work or your place of employment,
hmm
then a lot of times you're just gonna have an attitude and it's not gonna get the things that you're trying to get done is not gonna be accomplished.
Because it's different levels of understanding. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And
So
professionalism is more like telling somebody
telling
that they
somebody your
really.
truth in a means of without it being a like you should be able to take criticism, constructive criticism, or be open to saying, okay, well, this is what I think how we should handle this situation, or something to that nature without feeling like without taking it personal because it's
Hmm.
not personal. It's business.
Yeah, we're in a professional setting.
Yeah, but I think that's a big deal when it comes to people that are professional, so they say, or if you like in corporate America or something
Hmm.
to that nature. But you still gotta
So
go
basically,
home.
being professional is staying on code.
Yeah, you gotta don't wear your feelings on your sleeves. But you still can express where somebody basically had you fucked up, that you just gotta be able to say it in the means of without saying you got me fucked up. You gotta be able to say that in a better way.
You
So
gotta learn how to be nice, nasty,
yeah,
nasty, nice, nice, nice.
yeah, and some people don't know how to do that. Or I've watched people allow their being professional to push them to drinking. Like, oh, when I leave here, I'm finna
Hmm.
go home and get drunk. Like occasionally I drink, but I don't. That's not my go-to to solve my problems.
Hmm.
Like
So,
if
do
I'm,
you think professionalism is more like a mask that people
yes,
wear?
yes, you
Okay,
can't
so
be
who
your true
created what
authentic self.
professional? Okay, so you think working sometimes does not allow you to raw dog life because you have to put
No,
on
you cannot. You can't go to. I can't go. No.
a face.
If I went in there and said some stuff that I really be thinking, I'm wearing no job.
So in a sense, there's nobody really just raw dogging life.
No, I don't think not in totality. Like I can raw dog life when I get on the telephone with you, or if I'm talking
Yeah,
to one of my other friends or something. Like I can be real to that extent and be just raw,
yeah.
but in a professional setting, like sometimes like if I can say something and somebody that I work with might not even have the capacity to understand what I'm saying,
Hmm.
or I might not understand what they're saying, and it could be something that's as simple as a cultural thing.
Right, a culture, because some people, and not even just culture, just personality. Some people aren't
Yeah,
as in depth. Some are more shallow than others.
yeah.
And so you may deem that as them being dismissive or practicing cognitive dissonance when in reality,
They just think that
some people just ain't that deep. Like some people just depth ain't there. So
you are
they may be raw
insensitive
dog in life
just to their own capability.
capacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
In their own capacity. Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
So for me, raw dogging, I don't know. For me, raw dogging is like, I ain't never really been good at smoking weed and drinking ever in life.
I have.
So I don't know. A lot of people be like, well, I smoke. A lot of people have to smoke weed to calm down and relax and stop their thoughts and to basically
To deal with
take off
life.
the mask. Yes, to take off the mask that they may have had to wear to go to work. Some people need that to unwind. I have never been able to smoke marijuana and unwind. It winds me up, and I think way deeper than I need to.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, I have never been able to. That I had to raw dog. Just give me what you got.
I think it
I
depends on
I can just,
where I was at in life. Like at this
yeah.
point in my life, I don't have to do anything. I can just come home
Hmm.
and I might sit in my car for an hour. And
Hmm.
I think that is me being able to take off my professional suit and just come home and be mom.
Yes. And so, but is
Because
that a way for you to unwind and just deal with life?
sitting in my car,
Is that a way that you can
that's
sit
my
in?
calm spot. Yes.
Okay, and that's so that's a way that you rock and raw dog life but
Yeah, because when
it
I go
brings you
back and look
synergy.
at it, I do that because because I used to smoke cigarettes and I would sit in my car and smoke cigarettes, and that would be my way of unwinding from the day. But I don't smoke
So,
cigarettes anymore. But I'll still sit in my car, and sometimes I
so do
just
you
be
think it
so
was the
tired I
cigarette?
can't get out.
Mhm. Uh, So
Shit,
do you think that sitting in the car takes you to a place where you smoking cigarettes, or is it the car, or was it the cigarette?
probably a combination of both. I like sitting in my car
Hmm.
because when I sit in my car when I get out of work, I don't have to talk to nobody. I've been talking
Hmm.
all day long. Just let me sit right here. Sometimes I take a nap.
Hmm. And so that allows you to sit in your feelings and analyze what happened today,
Yeah.
and let me not take home what I had at work.
Uh huh.
So yeah, that's real dog within. Yeah.
A
So
place of
your
self
release.
reflection is really like, okay, well, all this stuff happened today, and I can go back and think
Hmm.
about my interactions with people, and
Yeah.
it needs self reflecting so I can know what I need to do differently, or if I should continue those behaviors
Right. Or if you learn something
about
from it.
myself,
Okay.
really, because I can't really put nothing on anybody else.
Right. That makes sense.
But
That
I ain't
makes
smoking
sense.
no cigarettes though.
Smoking cigarettes at
Because
night.
give me a two. Can I get two singles? Newport 100s, please.
Man, to Lucy.
Mm,
Newport, Salem, Winston, Marble
I
Lane.
don't want none of those.
Yeah, my unwind is me. So I guess when I don't raw dog life, for me to avoid doing what I need to do with taking care of life and just sitting in it, I do a lot of ripping and running.
Yeah.
That's my that's my buffer. I'd be like, oh, I know I need to do this, but I don't want to deal with this or think about it. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'll buy some
So
dirt. Let me go
avoidance.
outside and play with the plant. Avoidance, yes. I have big
That's
avoidance
kind of like
issues.
sweeping
And
shit under the rug.
yes, I have avoidance. So instead of me doing what I need to do and taking care of what I need to take care of, I go from one thing to the next. I start something, and in the process, I'm like, ooh, I don't really want to deal with this. Ah, let me go to something else. So then I have a million small fires all over the place.
Mm.
And still have the one main thing that I was supposed to be dealing with. So yeah,
So even though when
it's
you
avoidance.
avoid things, it's still gonna be there for you to deal with when you come back to it.
It sure is. It sure the double HE double hockey stick is.
So yeah, but that's like when you in situations where you might be dealing with family or you might be dealing in your relationships, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, just platonic relationships, when people really don't want to deal with the reality of things, they just sweep it under the rug and be like, well,
Yeah,
procrastinate.
just
I'll
it
deal
is
with it
what it is.
later. So as in, sir, Player Fly said, procrastination rules the nation.
Exactly. So we just go from one thing to the next. Or even just not even relationships, just like period. If it's something like some business I need to handle, and if I look at it and I get overwhelmed, like, ooh, this is gonna be a lot.
That's still
Ooh,
a
I mean, well, let me just
relationship though. Anytime you relate in
let me
any
just
type of way with another person, that's a relationship.
I'm talking about like some business, personal business. I ain't talking about with nobody else.
Well, I'm saying you still
Like if
have
it,
to relate to some shit, but I get
well,
what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah, I ain't talking about with nobody. I'm talking about like with, cause what I do if I feel like there's nobody, I just be quiet
Yeah.
and won't answer the phone. That's avoidance too. I
Yeah.
rarely do that, but sometimes I get in my little funky moods. But I don't know, like if it's something I don't want to do. So let's talk about this raw dog and. Ooh, do we want to touch that?
What?
Hmm. What we was talking about, what's going on in Jackson and in Houston.
No, I don't want to talk about that because I ain't in it. I don't give a damn about this shit. No, I don't want to talk about
Oh,
that. If people want to do what they want to do, then that's on them. I don't care. I don't care. Now, because at the end of the day, I don't. I have compassion for everybody, and the whole situation
Yeah.
is fucked up, and
Yeah, that's
because
messed
you
up.
never
It's
know
and it's probably
what somebody else has been through, or
what has transpired. Well, I was
yeah.
just saying in the terms of you nowadays you can't raw dog it when it comes to any to that aspect.
See, motherfuckers be raw dogging this shit. They don't care.
They want population control. They want y'all to stop having children.
They ain't got to worry about me having no more kids, cause I'm not.
Shit, I ain't either.
I ain't having not another kid. And if I ever came up pregnant, abortion. And I stand firm on that. You feel how you want to feel about this shit. I'm not. Why would I start over?
Uh,
I'm
I don't
not.
know, 'cause
No.
people be starting over. Ooh, I started over,
I
Lord.
don't have the
And y'all
mental
see,
capacity to do that shit. Somebody will have to watch. I would be a deadbeat mom in real fucking life. I don't have. I can't do it. I just couldn't. Just no. CPS would have to
ain't
just
gonna be able to
know.
do it.
And that's
Ain't gonna
me
be able to
raw
do it.
dogging that conversation right there. As far as bringing in another dependent. No, I can't do it. I don't even want no more dogs.
Ah,
And that's the
me the
route
cat.
it's gonna get. I don't even want to babysit shit.
I say them cats be pulling you.
Say
Not
what?
my cat. Them cats be pulling you.
I mean, I enjoy my animals, but I don't wanna. I'm good on all that. But but I can go back and say like another thing where I think people don't really deal with reality of shit is when you say if you going through something like the situation that's happening here now that
Yeah.
people they're not really raw, like you're not being raw about that situation because at the end of the day everybody mad at the girl for her doing what she done, which and that's understandable, I get it, but at the same time what happened to
Mhm.
her?
Right. Something happened to her
Something
in
happened to
life.
her to feel that way. So let's look
Yeah.
at like if you break it down and you look at that, it's always something that has caused somebody to do something.
Hmm.
Or if you go, that's even if you go back and you look at the situation like people that be on like porn and shit. What like
Hmm.
something happened
Yeah.
and
Something happened somewhere down the line for them to be over
yeah,
sexualized or
to be that
over.
sexual. Like I get you can be
Hmm.
sexual and freaky and shit. You know what I'm saying? But to just be out here wilding and say, well, I guess I'm gonna just
Hmm.
open my vagina up right here on the internet for everybody to like. I mean, I'm not knocking it if that's what you do for your means of income. Then get your paper, boo. But
Yeah.
mm-mm. I just think a lot of
Yeah.
times that happened to people is swept under the rug. Like people get molested,
Hmm.
that shit gets swept under the rug. Or you know what I'm saying? You got a whole lot of
Nobody
people.
wants to deal with it or
Yeah.
hear what really happened because they probably don't have the capacity to deal with it
To
like you
deal with
said.
it. That, like you said earlier, that cognitive dissonance, that shit is real. So,
Mm.
instead of me being able to raw dog life even after that has happened to me, so now my only other options is either be a super overly sexual person
Hmm.
or drink myself until I'm okay with whatever happened to me, or drink to the point to where I don't even want to acknowledge or
You
deal
gonna
with
think
what happened.
about it. Hmm.
Yeah, if
Yep.
I'm drunk or if I'm fucked up or popping pills or whatever my advice is, I don't have to deal with reality. So instead of
Right.
raw
You
dogging life,
escaping from it.
yeah, I just
Hmm.
think that
Escapism.
a lot of raw dogging life is harder than raw dogging than getting raw dog shit.
It is. So
Yeah,
I think a lot of time, I tell you what I think can perpetuate escapism, the internet and social media.
yes,
A lot of
the
people
biggest escape
are
factor right
telling
there.
y'all, huh?
I said that's one of the biggest ways to escape from reality
Man,
is I can be whoever the fuck I want to be on social media. Cause
man,
who knows?
who knows, right?
Or
Or
even like
I
that
know for,
TV show Catfish that was on MTV. That's a number one.
uh,
That's a Easy way to look at that shit on how people can be who they want to be.
On the internet.
Yeah.
Yep. And they can escape from the reality of I'm in the basement at my mama's house. Which is nothing wrong with that.
And there's
But I'm in the
mold on
basement
the
at my mama's
wall.
house. And it's what?
Mold on the wall. Shit, levels of goddamn toxicity. Go check that episode out too. For real.
Yeah. I
Uh-huh.
think that
I can
social
be who I
media
want to be.
allows escapism in that aspect. You can be who you want to be. You really don't have to deal with the reality of your life, whether it's good or bad. You can paint whatever picture you want. But also, people spending time on the internet instead of doing what you need to be doing.
And one of the best ways to procrastinate. Like for me, I could say when I do take the time and put my phone down, I get a lot of shit done. Like today, I did a whole
Man,
lot of shit, but I wasn't on my phone
and on their phone.
like I can be. No, I wasn't. Not today. I wasn't shit. I done cleaned the inside of my house and the outside, cut the grass, washed my car, vacuumed out my car, went to the grocery store, washed and fold my clothes, and wrote a lesson plan and figured out what I'm gonna do with my class tomorrow.
Got
But I ain't
everything
spend a
done.
whole lot of time on my phone.
Hmm.
So when you take a chance and you get out of this, you can take a break away from everybody else's life. That's another way that you prevent yourself from raw dogging life is by trying to solve other people's issues.
Man, that part. Let's talk about that. How it's so much easier. Or have we talked about that before?
I don't think so.
I feel like we done talked about it, but it's so much
Not
easier
on
for.
here. We probably just talked about it
Uh,
in general.
so it's easy for you to not deal with your raw dog life and deal with what you got going on and take it in for what it is and sit in it and process it and then do what you're gonna do with it. It's so much easier to have folk call you and you listen to their problems and be like, yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Meanwhile, you got a whole situation brewing in your life that you ain't even taking the time to deal with because you scared.
Or it's just easier to deal with somebody else's stuff than it is your own.
Hmm.
Cause
And that's what, and that's,
you don't have to
yeah,
live
and that's
your truth.
exactly because you listen to somebody else's truth. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like a lot of times, what I'm realizing the older I get, sometimes I just need to sit with myself.
Yeah.
Instead, I used to would call you or call my friends like, "What y'all think about this? This happened." Because because I would be so anxious and I really didn't want to deal with it. So when you get somebody else involved, you taking what they tell you and they process. You done dumped on them,
Yeah. But
but you
when you
done.
do that, you can only you it's hard to deal with your own stuff because I can only give you I can only share with you my experience or to what depth I understand what you have going on. Like I said, if you came to me and you said something about how you dealing with your baby or how you dealing with your nigga, I ain't got no baby or no nigga, so
Yeah,
I can't. You know
but
what I'm
but
saying?
yeah, you can't, and it makes it harder on the person that's reaching out. But sometimes you reach out and it makes it easier for the person reaching out because you gonna take what this person told you and run with it.
But then if it don't work out how you want it to, you might be that person be like, well, you told me to do such and such, and
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Then boom, now here we go. It's a whole nother level of issues.
Right, like I ain't tell you to do nothing. You asked for my opinion.
All right.
But once again,
Sometimes go ahead.
go ahead.
No.
No, I was just saying, but when you stop and sit and listen to yourself and go with what your mind is, or heart is telling you to go with, you won't have that problem because you know once again it's gonna fall back on you because you made that decision, and whatever decision you made, you have to deal with the consequences.
Right. That's like I can go back to a situation that I had to where somebody made a suggestion to I think you should do whatever and I can get upset about it. I got
Hmm.
upset because the truth wasn't being all the way revealed as in to
Hmm.
the manipulation that was happening in the background. So I'm
Hmm.
upset about it because I was listening to somebody else, but the person that I was listening to was trying to manipulate the situation to benefit what they thought should happen.
Yeah, they want it. But at that point, you done already decided what you want to do. You just need some backup to co-sign the BS. Or it
Well,
might not even be BS.
no. I mean, like,
Right.
it wasn't like I was looking for no cosign because I wasn't really doing no BS. I was just, it's like if I'm asking you, what do you think?
Oh.
Like, if I came to
Oh,
you and I
okay.
said, what you think about this person? And then you give me, what you think about that person. I'm not going to
Oh, but you
necessarily take what you're
manipulating, but the,
saying
okay.
to face
Okay.
value. I'm just asking your opinion. I'm still going to do what I want to do. But if you're
Yeah.
trying to sell me on what
Hmm.
you think I should do, then that's where the issue could come in at. So
Right. And that's why I say sometimes you need to just
you
raw
just need to
dog it
sit and
and
make your own decisions. Yeah.
make your own decision. Yeah. But it makes it takes pressure off of you too, not having to make that decision on your own. Because once again, you done call somebody else, and then if it doesn't pan out, you can always be like, "Well, I called such and such for their viewpoint and what they thought, and this is what they told
But you
me." And
have to be careful with who you call for your viewpoint because everybody has their own motives.
everybody has their own ideas. Like you said, everybody ain't 100%
Everybody
knowing what
ain't always for you neither.
they're not, and they may not understand the whole situation. Because once again, they can only give you
What they know.
what they know, and then that still might be limited because y'all situation may not be exactly the same.
Right. And a person is only gonna can only be as truthful as they're able to be truthful with themselves too.
And sometimes people be low key
Haters.
spiteful and hateful.
Hmm.
Man,
So
on the outside they acting like they
if
love
you
you
if you really don't fuck with me and I reach out to you and ask you some shit, you might tell me some bullshit just cause you really don't fuck with me.
because you really ain't funny.
Right.
It ain't
So it just all depends on the level of realness that the person that you give, like how to what capability are you able to raw dog like me, I
right.
can
And
take
then
some shit because I done been through some shit. If I like, okay, well shit, this happened, I guess we just shit burn these candles this week. What the fuck? But or whatever.
oh
I ain't trying but you get what I'm saying. Like I ain't gotta
yeah.
I can deal with a lot of
And,
shit because I've been through shit.
and
But
you
I may
also that
not
goes
want to
back to the
continue
whole
going through it either though.
yeah. And it also goes back to the whole idea different people on different levels. And you have to kind of some people are not that deep.
To what extent
So
have you did work on yourself too? Like I like to call it shadow work. If I hadn't went and delved deep into my shadows and really been raw with myself, then I can't really expect to really be able to raw dog life. Like I might need,
well a lot of people are shallow too though. They choose to be, but a lot of people shallow because they soul just ain't experienced a whole lot of stuff either.
yeah, yeah.
So it ain't they
You may
cycle
not
to
agree
like
to experience that shit when you agree
right,
to come back.
right. Your cycle may not be right now to be all deep and have to do no shadow work. So I'm having to understand that because shadow work is like a buzzword. Everybody's like, do your inner work, shadow work, but you have to also consider a lot of people ain't in the shadow work cycle.
No, they might
Like
still be into putting everything into the hands of an outside entity.
right, and they still may be infants in the spiritual
Spiritual
aspect.
realm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree
So
with that. It
it
just depends on the person and what you're capable of.
right. Is what your capacity. And like I said, everybody be saying, do shadow work. Everybody ain't ready for that. If they so ready, they'll find it.
They will.
Like the whole idea of trying to save people. No, 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 no.
Don't save them
We're at
because
the
they pet voice.
we're at the point in life where or we're at the point where the world if people that are on your same frequency, you're
They're
vibing with
gonna
them.
come to
You
you,
are
right? You
yes, you're
attract what you are, and everybody. Like for me, I know for a fact that I mirror. I'm
mhm.
gonna mirror. Uh, who I meet, whoever I come into contact with, I'm gonna mirror them, or they mirror me to a certain extent. And I understand that everybody that I meet or come into contact with is either for me to learn something or for them to learn something, and I'm okay with it.
Right. Right, and that's the same here. It's either for me to learn or for me to grow. I know this lifetime I have ran into a lot of people Usually if they get on my nerves and we don't just vibe like that, they're usually an activator for me in my life. They
Uh-huh.
activate me and
To
push me
move to the
into
next
something.
level.
Yes, push me. And every time we get into it, when they activate me, I level up. And it's not
Yeah.
like nothing. It's not like, oh no, I'm thinking about it like, oh, let me do better. It's like, oh, I can't stand this person. We done got into
Or
it,
I
but
can't stand
they,
this person because they project an aspect of
yeah,
myself that I need to work on.
yes. And so usually I have met a lot of activators. I have a couple of activators and I appreciate the
I
activator,
appreciate
the main
everybody
activator of my
in
life.
my life
Yeah,
that has come
yeah,
through and put me, or I went through something traumatic with them, or it's been an
yeah,
experience that I wouldn't recommend to anybody else or want to experience again. But over time and with
yeah,
life experience, that I can appreciate all of my everything that I've been through, because I wouldn't be who
yeah.
I am now if I hadn't went through
Hmm.
it. Now I still might talk shit about it,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be me if I hadn't experienced that part of my life.
Yeah, because my activator is real heavy in my life, and I have a newfound appreciation for that, for the activators in my life. Like at first, I just thought it was bad. It's like we never agree, but they see something deeper in me
Yeah.
than I realize, and usually they be on point. It's just me, I being stubborn and not want to hear it, so I take it
You don't be
personally as
wanting
an
to raw
attack.
dog life.
I don't be wanting raw dog life, and it is like they can see right through it, and they be like, "Damn, you got me,
You got to do this, or you have to
bitch."
do it. And
Ugh,
it usually
sink or
be the
swim.
people that you sometimes want to fight.
Or the people that you really don't get along with. Literally. It's like y'all souls don't seem like they mix and match. It's like it's a tug of war always. But I don't know, they for some reason those people put some movement in me, and when I'm there, when I encounter them in a and and usually if it's not a copacetic encounter or if it's a blow up, every time we blow up, I go to the next level. I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
oh,
I don't know.
why?
I don't know if I, for me, it's usually a little different. Like if I go through something with somebody, either I'm gonna fix their relationship or I'm just gonna move forward.
Yeah.
I don't really do a whole lot of backtracking. Like I can take the things that I went through and I can appreciate it, but I don't have to deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
My activators, it ain't but a couple activators, and they people that I have to deal with.
I
But
don't
like
give
I
a damn
said,
if you my baby daddy, uncle. If I don't want to deal with you, I ain't.
yeah,
But I can
but the
still,
situation,
I can be cordial. But as far as like on the everyday, day to day basis, if you stress, no, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
hmm
So
hmm
that don't mean I don't
yeah,
appreciate that person for me being allowed to learn whatever it is that I learn, but I don't have to. Like I don't have to deal with with the people that I have children with because my kids are big.
yeah,
So, but I get what you saying. Activators and this, if this a relationship that I genuinely value, then I will figure out a way to make things,
hmm
workable or whatever. But I be cutting people off because I ain't got time for that shit.
it ain't nothing to cut that off.
Man, do you hear me? I got some scissors. For real.
I act like I don't know you. I see you in the streets and act like I ain't never
I
met you in my
will.
life.
I walk right. I walk right past you now. Sometimes I smash or out head nod you or something simple like that. But I'm not
Mhm.
petty. That's the thing for me is I'm not going to do something to try to aggravate you or something if I know that we had
Mhm.
a rough time dealing with each other. Like I'm not going to be intentionally mean. I'm not a mean person like that. But I just don't have to deal with you, or I can deal with you with a long spoon, as the old people say.
Mhm.
So, and that's my truth. And me raw dog in life is knowing that I can deal with somebody, but I don't have to deal with you on a intimate And I don't mean like sexually intimate. I mean just like intimate. Like I don't have to let you know what's really
Private
happening in my life.
person. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. So I just raw dog in life. Like I think in overall, like a good summary of that would be how capable are you in dealing with everyday life things.
Yeah.
So like without having to use buffers. And I get it. Some people really do need buffers. Like to deal with
Yeah.
some,
Some
because some
people,
people have really traumatic things that have happened to them. And
or
I
it's
get
not
it.
even trauma. Some people are just more sensitive. They're
Yeah. Well, it could
a
be
lot.
trauma too. Like if somebody witnessed their
Yeah.
mama getting murdered, that's like deep as fuck.
Yeah, it can be trauma, but it's not always trauma based. Some people are just more sensitive to what's going on and what's around them.
Or
So
just in
a lot of
general.
it is, yeah, a lot of it is trauma based, but I don't always like to just always assume something traumatic happened because that ain't always the case. Some people are just more sensitive, so
Yeah.
they may not be able to handle some of the things that come
That come
because
up.
they can sense. Yes, their
Yeah.
abilities are way different and they can sense and it be just a lot to handle. So a lot of people have to tune it down and turn it down a notch or two.
Well, I can say for me, when dealing with like I'm pretty open to dealing with shit. Like when it comes
Yeah.
to communicating about things, like I've dealt with people who, like I had somebody tell me, well, what if that person is just more sensitive to the situation? And I'm like, well, my question to that person was, why should I have to not be who I truly am because somebody else is sensitive? So am I really being my authentic self if I
Well, that's
have to
not what I
cater
meant by
to
that.
somebody else? Huh?
Is that in relation to what I just said? Or you just saying in general?
Just in general, but not in relate. No, I'm
Oh,
just saying like, cause you're saying sometimes people are more sensitive
yeah.
to
I mean, just
certain
more
things.
sensitive to, or not even not just dealing with people. Just some people are more sensitive and pick up, like y'all be saying, empaths and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Some
I can pick
people
up on
are just
people, but I'm still
way
open
more
and
sensitive.
capable of dealing and communicating
Yeah, and some people
or
may
not.
not be able,
Yeah,
or I don't even say you have to be able to communicate to raw dog life. Sometimes life just stuff becoming too much, and you're just way a more sensitive person that you have to have a buffer at times. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't
yeah.
know.
No, I get what you're saying. I understand it. I'm just saying like when somebody made that comment to me, I felt a certain type of way because I was like, well, it made me feel like in a lot of aspects in my life, I've always felt like I had to not be who I really was because people can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can't handle like the questions, like I might ask questions that motherfuckers don't we want to answer.
Yeah.
And it made
Or
me
people
feel,
just misunderstand you sometimes and
yeah,
think that they may not understand where you're coming from, where it may be it's a serious curiosity, like, or you
yeah,
trying to
I'm not being
understand.
offensive. I'm asking to understand.
Yeah.
And
And
if
some
it's,
people may take that
but that's
as
not my fault
being,
how you take it. And that's what I
I
be
know, I'm
saying.
not
It's
saying it
like,
is.
no, I know, I'm just saying like when I go back and refer to that conversation that I had with that person, they was like, well, what if that person is more sensitive than you are? And I was like, okay, so does that mean I don't get to have a complete understanding of what's happening because somebody is not capable of saying what they're trying to express? Like you
Yeah.
can't just
And it,
expect me to understand like what's to explain. I mean, you know how people always be like, what's understood ain't got to be explained. But sometimes, yes, it do.
yeah, I have to be explained. So.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
I need
understand
to.
and I know that it's routine. Like, oh, this how we been doing it, okay. But I be having to have confirmation because I'm a spontaneous person in life. So, and I'm not a person of routine.
Me
So
neither.
I
That
be
shit
thrown off by
boring.
routine. I be thrown off by
I don't
routine.
want to do the
So
same shit
I
every
don't,
day.
yeah, that what's already been said what's already understood don't have to be said. Yeah, it was understood, but sometimes I need a refresher
I
because
want to do something different. Like I might not want to do this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe I want to do it on Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Right. And you're gonna have to refresh my memory. 'Cause bitch, I
Yeah.
forget.
So that's what I'm saying. As far as like when it comes to certain things, I don't think it's like not necessarily somebody misunderstanding me. I just think a lot of times people don't be ready for some of the shit that I ask
Yeah.
until it's
Yeah.
two
And
or
they
three
just,
years later, and they be like, "Kim, you told me this or you asked me this, and now here I am 3 years later. Oh, I get it now." And I be like, "Well, shit, I don't even give a fuck no more."
I asked you this 3 years ago
Man, I don't even remember that
when I
shit,
was
but I've had that happen to me a lot of times.
trying to get some understanding. You didn't want to get no act right.
Man, so yeah, but I just think when everybody has different levels of their abilities to really raw dog life.
Yeah. And everything ain't meant to be raw dog.
It ain't.
It's that
Sometimes
on
you
that.
need to drink a damn. Sometimes you need to take some shots. Shit,
Sometimes you need to eat a piece of chicken. That's what I had to tell myself, bitch.
man, and drink
I've
a
been eating.
pop.
I had man a peach knee high pop at that
And Bobby
in
in
my
the
Bobby
voice.
Hemmy voice, man. 'Cause that peach knee high pop may be all you have at that moment, and you better
Man,
make that motherfucker work.
please make it work. And Bobby in the voice. That's why I love him.
Man,
He'll have
exactly.
you out here fucked up a little bit too, though.
Man, he'll have you out here in a
Raw dog in
facility.
life for real. In the trenches, nigga.
or or he will have you not with no roof over your head and
Man,
homeless.
are not caring at all.
Man, not caring at all.
But
I
I
think
like some of the things that he say because it makes you go back and be like, okay, well, it's really like you can raw dog life, but then when you really just go and look into it, you be like, damn, I done overthought this shit so much. It really ain't even this
man,
serious. Let me take about
that's that
15
part.
steps back and really look at the situation for what it is, not practice cognitive dissonance, and just don't be delusional and really look at the shit without all the extra
Yeah,
parasitic thoughts and be like, okay, well, damn,
man.
this is really what's happening. Let me deal with it. Ain't no point in thinking,
Yes.
going to the funeral, all this extra ass shit that we do sometimes when you overthinking and you thinking of all the goddamn scenarios that can happen. Ain't none of that shit happen. This is really what's happening. Let me deal with reality, not sweep shit under the rug, and just understand that, okay, this is what's happening. Either I'm going to
So
be able to
and
fix it or I'm not.
exactly. So what you just said was exactly something that I read this morning for my Soulful Sunday email I be getting from Chattanooga Holistic Medicine. So
Okay.
it said the quote was from Henry David Thoreau. Our life is filtered away by details. Simplify, simplify. And that basically means that sometimes we get too caught up in the details of things that we don't even get to the solution of what we're trying to get to. So
Right.
sometimes simplicity is best. Just
Yeah. Keep it
boom, that's
simple.
it.
And Al-Anon's,
Keep it Keep it simple. Cause you will have your mind. That's why we say fuck your thoughts. Cause sometimes your thoughts will have you wrapped up and warped out and be done went too deep.
man. So yeah, I just think that yeah, sometimes your own mind, like that book I've read that the mastery of love, where it was talking about how when you dealing in relationships, it don't even matter the kind of relationship when you allow your parasitic mind to go up to be stronger than the ally mind. And then you start thinking of all the
Mm-hmm.
negative aspects that could happen instead of just focusing on
Yeah.
what's really
On
happening.
what's right in front of you.
Yeah. Because why is
And
you
that
all the
goes
way over
into
there in
being present.
Arkansas when everybody else is in fucking Mississippi? Where are you? Come back.
Exactly. Come back this way.
Man.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to we end this because
Now we
I
can
hear
end
my
it.
2-year-old.
Okay,
I
so
hear
we
my
at
2-year-old
44:19.